So it's laundry time, and I thought this would be a really good time to have a discussion with you. Um, it's a real hot topic, a current topic right now is minimalism, right? And how we've just got too much stuff. And I agree. Um, we are, wow, the consumerism here is absolutely insane. We are placing way too much value on things around us instead of looking within, instead of placing the emphasis on where it should be. You know, I'm watching all these documentaries and people talking about how they've gotten rid of all these excess items in their lives, but what they haven't discussed, and that this is why I'm here to talk about this with you right now, because I have not seen anybody discussing about filling that void that everyone feels, the void that's there, and it's there for a reason. That void that needs to be filled is Jesus Christ. We have all had an opportunity, you know, to keep the Lord in our lives, whether you were brought up in church or whether you weren't brought up with any kind of religion, or maybe things weren't so great and you were brought up with things that are entirely wrong and out of line with God completely, you know. But we all come to a place in our lives, whether you're climbing the corporate ladder and you get to a place where you're like, is that it? That's it. You've got no place else to go. What are you going to do now? You know, you're striving, your ambition, you're pushing, and then you get to that place, and then what? That's when people start, you know, like filling the void with things, you know. I would rather invest in myself and invest in having God in my life. And I want to share that with you because that's what I've been doing. You know, sometimes instead of, you know, the corporate ladder, maybe perhaps you've had really, really bad things happen to you in life, you know. And sometimes, a lot of times, you know, these things happen because you're not living the way you were intended to live. See, God's got a purpose for every one of us. Every one of us. We are all God's children, and we all have a beautiful purpose for this life, you know. And maybe you don't feel like you know what yours is, but until you get down on your knees and submit yourself to God and tell him, hey, I can't do this on my own. You know, with all these things happening, one after another, there are no coincidences when it comes to God. I'll tell you that right now. There are no coincidences when it comes to God. So you have to just, I mean, you don't have to. We all have free will. You can do what you want. But are you happy? Are you being fulfilled with all this stuff? Is this making you happy? You know? Is idolizing the celebrities that you look at that you think look so cool and are wearing these really great clothes that you want to wear. So maybe you want to rush out and get some kind of wardrobe that is only going to be super popular for about 2 weeks tops. And it's not going to change your life. It's not going to make people look at you any differently. They might say, oh, you look nice that day. You know, doesn't change anything about who's inside. Only God can do that for you. Only Jesus Christ in your life can fill that void that's missing inside of you. You know, and I've been going through this, and I don't know if you've been going through this process or not, but I hope that I can help you with this if I possibly can. It would be my honor, and we can discuss these things, you know, because I think it's very important. It's not just about consumerism. I mean, there's so much going on here, you know, this false construct that we're living in, the principalities that are trying to keep you locked in and tied into these false beliefs, the way of life, everything is so evil and corrupt. And it didn't start out that way, but it just became so ugly and vile and just based on things that are just the opposite. You want to talk about what the Antichrist is? Well, take a look around you, because it's everywhere. We need to be putting our focus on God, filling that void with Jesus Christ. We need to stand up, because if we don't take a stand and start talking about it, how are we going to make a change, right? We need to tell people, we need to be brave, and we need to stand out and talk to people like I'm doing right now. I see things in this life that we need to be changing. We need to change ourselves. You can only get so far in life. You can only get so far in life before you decide that there's nothing else for you, you know? The way this life is set up right now, this false construct that we're in, you can work your way up the corporate ladder and you're only going to get to a certain point, and then you're going to decide, wow, I've spent my whole life getting to somewhere. Now what? Now what? Because I guarantee you that did not fill that void that's inside of you. That job, those clothes, they don't fill that void. They don't fill that void, that need for Jesus Christ in your life. See, God wants to fill that void in your life. You will not require all these things. They will not be necessary. They won't. My whole life changed when I gave myself to the Lord. When I said, I can't do this on my own. I can't. You weren't meant to. You give yourself over to God, and you're going to see what a change will occur in your life. What a change you will make in others just by experiencing this, by learning and growing in Christ. It's the most beautiful transformation. You know what? I want to continue this beautiful discussion with you, and we're going to have lots of different topics to talk about, you know, but always focused and centered on Christ, because that's what's missing. See, so many people are building their houses on sand, you know, instead of the rock, that sturdy rock, that foundation that only Christ can give you. It's embarrassing how much stuff that we have, you know. I literally had to buy more furniture. I had to buy another chest of drawers just because I had no room for all my things. And, you know, it's funny, before I made a sincere change in my life and invited Christ back into my life. I mean, he's always been there. It's us that, you know, we are the ones who were led astray, you know, and we allowed ourselves to be led astray. But yeah, once I let the Lord back in, I'm like, hey, why did I buy extra furniture for these things that I don't even wear? I mean, half the stuff in the closet, I've already donated. I can't tell you how many bags of clothes that either I can't fit into anymore because they are way too big. Because, oh yes, by the way, being with Jesus, he's gonna change your life. If you want to talk about the best therapist that you've ever had in your entire life, Jesus Christ wins that hands down. I've lost over 120 pounds since I gave myself to God, okay? And that's not just it. I mean, I can't tell you how many things that I've donated, and I'm very happy that I have, because now I know that there are some people out there who are going to get things that they actually do need, as opposed to, you know, filling these voids that can only be filled with God, you know. But yeah, I had to buy extra furniture for clothes that I didn't. So yeah, you know, a lot of this stuff, it just doesn't make sense. Take a look at your life and tell me what, you know, are you happy? Are you being fulfilled by all these things around you? You know, I mean, all these programs, they're all talking about you know, minimalism and getting rid of these things, but they're not talking about God. They're not talking about the most important thing that we should all be talking about, because that's the thing. Why people are still so afraid to talk about Jesus Christ after how many thousands of years? Well, you know what? It's time. My life changed so much, and part of that has to do with the fact that Jesus helped strip me from all the ugliness that the world did to me, and I'm sure has done the same to you, you know. And when I tell you that he's a great therapist, I'm not kidding. He will leave no stone unturned. There's not one thing. I mean, I never was able to stay on a diet for very long, okay? I don't have a diet anymore. That's not what my life is now. It's not that at all. But I've got so much willpower that he gives me. It's amazing. And he does it for free. I mean, the only thing that costs you is your love and your soul and your intention and your giving yourself to the Lord. You know, instead of putting that attention on the false constructs of this world, you know. I mean, yeah, it's great. You want to build your body and do all that. That's wonderful. God can help you with that, you know. But that's not the main emphasis. It's not all you. We're being made to believe that we're the only ones who can change our lives, and it was never meant to be that way, you know. You need Jesus in your life. You need God, and I don't mean a specific religion, because you don't need some strict dogma that you need to adhere to. What you need is a personal relationship with Jesus Christ, you know, and it's beautiful, and it's there are some things that are going to be the same for everybody, but it's also it is an individual thing. There are going to be some things, I mean, that only you and Jesus are going to be able to have, you know. I mean, think about it, having this beautiful relationship with Jesus and being able to talk to somebody who knows your heart, knows your soul, knows your thoughts, knows your every thought, and still loves you. You don't have to be afraid of what people think. He doesn't. He wants you to share everything with him. He knows everything anyway. He knows everything. But he wants you to open up to him, you know? This world right now, the way it is, we need to stand up. We need to take a stand. We need to say, hey, you know what? God's taken over now. It's been corrupted too much. It's been made so vile and ugly, and children have been led astray. It's not the way it's supposed to be. And once you give yourself to Jesus Christ, you're going to see that, and you're going to know what a difference he will make in your life. And I'm really interested to see how this is affecting you. If you've started the process, if you've been saved, if you've been born again, if you've given yourself to the Lord yet, if you've started this process, where are you in it? You know, let's have a discussion. You can, you know, let me know. comment. Let me know how you're doing. And if you haven't, why don't you? You haven't got anything to lose. You've only got something to gain. If there's anything that I can do to help you with this, through this process, and if you have any questions or you just want somewhere to go and you want to talk or or listen or whatever, it'd be my absolute honor to be here for you. And I'm not doing it on my own. I couldn't do this without Jesus Christ. He's literally changed everything for me. He's made me into something I didn't think I could ever be. And I know he can do the same for you. And your life will change. And you will feel so amazing. So I look forward to spending more time with you. God bless you. Love yourself and love one another. I'll see you soon. Bye.